Hi there, I'm Aman from DPS Alwani Lamachor and you're watching PTO classes. So I'm back with another lesson from grade 9th English, and today we are going to do the writing portion. Okay, by far we have done literature, moments and behind both. We have one poem in your behind after the chapter, okay, that we have done recently. After that we have the poem The Duck and the Kangaroo. So that we are not doing right now. We are focusing on the writing portion, the writing skill. After that we will be doing some grammar part also. Okay, so for today we have our writing section, and in this we are going to learn story writing. Okay, we are going to do story writing. So, by the title itself, by the topic's name itself, what do you get? First, you have story and writing. Okay, what is writing? Okay, what is writing? Putting your thoughts, to put your thoughts, to put your thoughts, put your thoughts on a piece of what? Paper. How do we write something? We think about it. First of all, to write something, the first thing that we do is to think. Then what we do? We collect all the thoughts, collection of thoughts, collection of thoughts, and then what we do? We shape our thoughts into we give it a nice language. We frame a language. Okay, we frame language. Okay, then this is called what? Writing. We put our thoughts together on a piece of paper, and for doing that we first of all think about it. Then we put our collection of thoughts together. Then we frame the language. This is about writing something that we are getting into our mind, that is not given. Okay, one writing is copying. Okay, that kids usually do from the book, from Google, from anywhere. The written text we copy it. That is not our own. That is copied. But when we write our own thoughts and we think about a topic, we collect the thoughts, we frame a language, this whole process is writing. Okay, now we have one more keyword in the title. We have one more keyword in the title, that is story. What we are reading today, what we are studying today, we are studying story writing. So writing, you are aware now, the original thoughts, that the thoughts of your own, when they come to your mind, you collect all the thoughts, you chalk it down into a piece of paper. This is what writing is about. Now what is story? Okay, what is story? A novel you have read, novel all must have read somewhere, sometime. One novel you must have in your life. If you haven't read any novel, then it is a very shameful thing. You must read one novel at a time. So, a novel is a bigger text that has so much, okay, little stories, short stories, they get together and become a novel. But a story is a shorter version of novel. That is a shorter version of the novel. What is the story? The story is your the things. Okay, the story is taken place either in your own life, in your own life, in your own life, or someone else's. Okay, don't get bored, it is very easy. Story is the incidents that has happened in your life or someone else's life, and you put them together like the meaning of writing. You put them together in a piece of paper, you write them, or digitally you can write them, then it becomes a story. Okay, so this is what story is about. Incidents, okay, you write. Now together story writing is incidents that have occurred in your life or someone else's life. You put them together in a piece of a language, in a language, you frame a language, and it is called story writing. So this is how I have introduced story writing to you. I hope you have understood what really story writing is about. Okay, now we are going to see that how can we write, how do you write, how you write an effective story, how you write an effective story, effective story. So what we do first of all while we are writing something, what is the first thing that we think about? If you want to write about someone, so what we require? We require that somebody. So first of all you think about a plot. It is not that plot, it is not that khet. Okay, a plot here means the base on which you will develop your story, the backdrop, the background, okay, the background of the story. First of all you think about a background, a very nice background. You think that where the incident occurred, what the incident is, who was there in the incident. Second, you think about the characters. You think about who can be the characters around whom the story will revolve. Okay, very nice characters you think about. So in characters so many things are there. First of all you have one main character. Okay, either it can be a negative one or a positive one. Okay, it can be a villain or a hero. Okay, so you think about the main character, how he will be like, what will be his physical appearance will be, how he will think, what he does, and all of that. Now the supporting characters that are there, like we have in our movies, the sidekicks, the comedians, the fathers, the parents, okay, the relatives, all of that, the little characters. Although in story you don't have to write that big, but still you can have a main character and you can have a supporting character. Main character can be more than one. Then supporting character, one or two you can put. Okay, this is not, I am not talking about a big story writing like you are writing for a film, but just you put your thoughts together, so you require these. Okay, so they must be nicely framed, nicely thought about. Okay, nicely thought about. So this is what you require in your story characters. Now one important tip, one important aspect of writing a story is what the story is always, story is almost, not almost, is most of the time mostly written in the past tense. Okay, in the past tense, because you are writing about the incident that has happened in your life, story. Okay, and one thing you must have seen in SST, the subject history. Here history means his story. very good characters in your story. Then you must have the main characters in your story. Then you have the supporting characters in your story, and the story must be written in the past form. Okay, so this is how you frame a story. And effective tips of writing story. One more thing, very important thing, how you introduce the main point. Main plot is important, but how you introduce and how you end your story, that is called the climax. In every movie, when the climax is boring, we say, okay, the story was so good, but the ending was not that good. Okay, so you must be balanced. Okay, consistency must be there. How you started and how you ended your story. If the story is ending on a higher note, very good. Okay, the introduction was there and the story is ending on a higher note, means what the reader started, then how he ended, it is better, and end result is better than the process, then it is fine. But if the end is bad and the beginning was fine, then your story is not very good. Main plot is important, the base of the story is important, what happened during the story is important, but these 2 points are rather more important. Okay, so this is how you write a story. You give a nice introduction, you make your plot, you introduce to your characters, then you end your story on a very good note. Okay, good note doesn't mean that it has to be positive only. A bad ending can be there, but it should be very effective. Your readers must be glued to your story. They must like your story. They must feel that they are witnessing everything in their actual life. So this is what your story is about. Now we are moving to the some tips that you may have while your story. In this video, I am going to do one thing, that we are writing the story, but storytelling also I will teach you. Okay, so now we have the tips. So first tip, first and foremost, the effective way that I have introduced, the story is always written in the past tense. Okay, is mostly written in the past tense, and always it is written in the past tense. Second, very important thing, very nice thing to remember, that characters, okay, what in characters, the story must revolve around the main character, must revolve around the main character, okay, the story must revolve around the main character. You must be decisive that who is the main character of the story. Suddenly you will not change. In the beginning it will feel like he is the main character, then suddenly you will remove him from the story. That will not be done. And one more important and effective tip that is there is that your story must have the effect of what can I say? It must be a little fictitious also, entertaining we can say, interesting. To make your story interesting, you must write very fictitious events. Okay, you can write some events that are there which the reader will like to read about. The reader will enjoy. It must be enjoyable also. One more important tip, the story must be must not be boring, that is there, and it must have a moral. A moral must be there, okay, something the reader should get. And in the board, what is there? In some questions it is written, give a suitable title along with give a moral to the story. 1 mark is there for this moral. Okay, so one thing I forgot, title. this is mandatory. And moral, this also is sometimes asked in the question, sometime asked, and I suggest you that kindly always give a nice moral to your story. And conclusion must be there, a good conclusion. Climax must be very interesting in order to keep your readers with you. So this is how you write a story. Quickly I will tell you the format. First of all, you give a title. Okay, then you introduce your story, the characters, then the main plot, then the climax, and at last the moral of the story. So these are very important. First of all, title, introduction, main plot, climax, and moral. These 5 elements must be there in your story. Now, what we are going to do, I am going to read out one story for you, and you will understand how to write a story. So we are doing both story writing and storytelling in the video. Okay, so let's quickly see how a good story we can generate. Okay, one question always comes to the student's mind. One thing always the students ask, that how much lines we should write. Okay, one page or half page or more than one page, this is the question. This silly question is always asked. In your question, for example, I am reading one question for you. Okay. Develop a story about 150 to 200 words. I will require a marker also. 150 to 200 words. So word limit is given. How much it can be? One page. Okay. 150 to 200 words with the following beginning. Also give a suitable title. So here in the story it is asked, also give a suitable title. Okay. So, and in the story sometimes you have been given the opening lines. Okay. About which you have to introduce the story. So it is given in the question only. An old couple was living in Shobit adjacent flat. Okay, adjacent means just beside it. Adjacent flat. One day he saw commotion, means hustle, rush in their house. He went there and found. Now it is left there. You have to now write more about the story. You have been given the opening lines. Now you have to continue the story. So our writer has given a very nice title, Cut. Okay, Cut is the title he has given. So see how he is writing. An old couple was living in Shobit's adjacent flat. One day he saw some commotion in their house. He went there and found that there were some masked people who were threatening the old couple, and they were trying to escape from the grip. Meanwhile, there was a sound of hooter, and people saw 3 cars coming towards their house. Now, the robbers were trying to free themselves, but they were in the control of the couple. People were surprised how the old couple could be able to handle the young robbers. By now, police had also reached the spot and arrested all the robbers. People were paying their respect to the police, but all of a sudden there was a sound of cut. The people were surprised as all the people, including the old couple, robbers and police, were laughing. Shobit was quite amazed to know that all this was the shooting of a TV serial. Now all the people came to know that the old man was director of TV films. Shobit took a sigh of relief and decided to approach the old man to introduce him on the silver screen. So see the story. We have been given lines. What you would have done, what someone would have done. Someone was there in the house, adjacent house. So what could have been written? Some bad things also, that it happened, murder happened, and anything like that. But our writer decided to give a very humorous ending. He said that it was a shooting of film for TV serial. Okay, so this is how you can end your story. You can write a story. If the title, if the opening lines are negative or it has humor in it, so you can shape the story in your own thinking. That is why I always say think and write. Okay, think, collect your thoughts and write. So this is what story writing is about. I am going to send you this story and then you can do what? One question I will provide you. That question also you will do in your fair notebook along with the question that I am sending you. This is how you write a very good story. So this is it for today. I hope you have understood how to write a very nice story and I hope that you have got how story writing is, what story writing is rather, and how to write a good story. So I am Aman from DPS Sandwani Ramajod, and this book I suggest for the board students. Okay, this is for your class 9th. I have got it last year. This year also I will purchase it. Okay, so what it has some sample papers and all the chapters have some extra questions also. So this book is known as CBSE Question Bank from the publisher Oswal. Okay, CBSE question papers by Oswal Publications. So this is a book that I suggest for all classes from 9th to 12th, and even for the junior grades it is available. This is a very nice book. Don't go after that all-in-one. That is a very thick book, and here you get everything that is required. When I was in my previous school, I recommended it to a student. SST1, it counts in all the subjects, I suppose. Maths and science I don't know about. SST and English I have read. Okay, so I suggested SST book, and that is boy in 10th got above 90, and he was telling me that 3-4 questions were there from the sample paper of this book. So this is a very nice book. You can have it, you can purchase it. Not now, but if you want it, you can have it in 10th. For 9th I will not say, you don't require it, but when you will be in 10th, you can have it. But students who are wanting some book, they want some book for grade 9th also, you can have it. Okay. And one more book I will suggest to all the students who want to learn grammar book, very nice book, Wren and Martin. It comes with the answer key you have to buy separately. I guess I will be having in my bookshelf. Okay, I will show you Wren and Martin sometime else. You can have it. Wren and Martin, I will say that buy it this year itself. The book is useful for everyone, not only for students. It is very helpful for all of them. Okay, it comes like this, a book that costs X amount, like 500 something, and one answer to the questions that are around 150 to 200. So these two can be bought together, Wren and Martin main book and answer key, that will be beneficial for your whole life. Okay, so I have taken much of your time. Thank you so much for watching the lecture. We will meet again next time and do the story writing. Okay, and write a very nice story, the question that I will provide you.